You're listening to the Patriot Nation Podcast.
All right, welcome into another edition of the Patriot Nation Podcast. As always, a proud member of the CLNS group of podcasts. Make sure you download and subscribe to all of those shows, especially the ones on the Patriots Press Pass Network, but also get in on those Celtic shows and Bruin shows because both of those seasons are starting up as well. Tonight,
Bruins, I think their game just started. Got a little West Coast trip. So if you're up late watching us, you want to continue the late night entertainment, you can just switch right over after.
It's a great call. It's a great call by you. Yeah. But tonight, it's your boy Pat Lane here with my guy Matt St. Jean for the Patriot Nation Podcast, talking, of course, the Patriots and the win in New Orleans. And Matt, it's good to be home. It's good to be home, but it was a heck of a weekend.
I know you had some traveling adventures. How was the travel and how was the trip?
The travel was terrible. The trip was fantastic. The travel was terrible. Saturday, our flight was 5 a.m., so we got up at 2:15 in the morning to get to the airport. Got to the airport, got to New Orleans, and I don't know if you've ever seen the clip of Jerry Seinfeld talking about the car reservations, rental car reservations. The key is not taking the reservation. The key is holding the reservation. They did not hold our reservation, or anyone else's for that matter, including Dan Roach, who I saw at the rental spot. No cars on the entire lot. 150 people waiting. We just said, screw it. We're canceling the car. We got our money back. We took an Uber to the hotel. We get to the hotel. By the way, the hotel we're in was this place called Le Pavillon, and it's like a National Historic Hotel or something like that. It's like this outrageously gaudy building. It's unbelievable. It looks gorgeous. But when Marriott bought it, they reimagined it as like they flipped history on its head, and so they took all of the paintings in the entire hotel and flipped them upside down. So every single picture in the entire hotel is upside down, which is insane. So anyway, it was kind of wild. It was fun, but it wasn't. Really annoyed my buddy. But anyways, So we're there, and I said to the front desk, I go, we got to get to LSU, and we don't have a car. And the lady's like, gets the concierge, Floyd, who's like an unbelievable guy. And she goes, hey, Floyd, this guy's going to get to LSU. He goes, I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. Picks up his phone, calls his buddy, who's a cab driver, Charlie. And he gets on the phone with Charlie, and he goes, hey, I got these guys, this and that. He's talking to him on his phone, and he's like, I don't know. He hands me his phone, and I'm talking to this dude, Charlie, on the phone. He's like, hey, what you need, man? And I was like, hey, I told him the story. He goes, I got you, buddy. Don't worry about it. So he charged us a good amount, but, I mean, rightfully so. He took us to LSU all the way to Baton Rouge, drove us there, waited in Baton Rouge for us, and then drove us home at the end of the night. So just an absolute lifesaver from him. We had some unbelievable tailgating times over there. If you get a chance to get to an SEC game, specifically an SEC tailgate, you have to do it. LSU was like a movie. It was unbelievable. Just incredible vibes. Everyone was so incredibly nice. The food was outrageously good. And so we were lucky. We liked it a lot. The game stunk. LSU turned them over twice inside the 5-yard line. Like, it was a mess. But they did win, which was cool, but it was a heck of a night. It was a heck of a night, and we got home at like 1:15. We were finally going to bed at like 1:15, which is 2:15 our time. Which means we had been up for a full 20. We did a full 24 on Saturday.
Hope you had
got some sleep, right back up and at it the next day on Sunday. So that was it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun for us. And Sunday was awesome. And afterwards, hanging out on Bourbon Street was like just. We found this place that was an outdoor bar where they were playing live jazz music, and Cafe Beignet was right there. So we're eating beignets, drinking frozen hurricanes, listening to live jazz music in like the 80-degree weather outside. It was like, what could possibly be better than this? It was unbelievable. So It was a heck of a night. Also, shout out to two fans who might be listening right now. I don't know. They followed the show on Spotify. We saw them coming out. They're from the they're from the Redneck Riviera of Destin, Florida, and they were just like the nice people. We were chatting with them after the game, and then we went our separate ways. We're walking back to our hotel, saw them again, and they were like, "We're gonna meet up with you for a drink later, this and that." I'm like, "Okay, all right, sure," but like, no one's got who knows, right? No one's got those numbers. We're walking down Bourbon Street. And my dad's like, "Ooh, there's some good music in here. Let's walk into this bar." So we popped into that bar. I'm on my way to the bathroom, and I feel a tap on my shoulder, and lo and behold, it's the girl from the couple, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're here! You have to do a show." I was like, "Oh my God, what are the odds of that?" Like, of all that, we walked into like 2 bars on Bourbon Street, and they happened to be in one of them.
One of the peak like life experiences is going like traveling somewhere and like making friends with the random people there, especially when you see them like in different places throughout a trip.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So I didn't get their names. We didn't exchange phone numbers. We didn't exchange nothing. We didn't follow each other on Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff. But they did follow the show. So maybe they listen to the show. If you listen to the show and you want to follow on the Instagram or the Twitter at plane_Pats, I'd love to connect again. But cool people, and it was a great time. We sat in like a season ticket holder section at the Superdome, and the people were crapping on us, but like in a fun way. Like they were, they were giving us crap. We were giving them crap. It was great. We had a blast. It was a ton of fun. And so,
and even better,
it was a weekend. And then, of course, then coming home, we were supposed to get in at 12:30, and our flight got delayed, so we got in at 2:45. I didn't get home till like 4 o'clock in the morning. It was a mess. So I took the next day off, but like still, it was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. So. Yeah. A rough travel weekend, a fantastic overall weekend.
So with that trip, you get to see the Patriots in person.
Yes, sir.
None of the fans have heard your post game thoughts yet. Hit them with what's on your mind.
That's a great point. I did do a quick walk-in breakdown. If you haven't checked that out, you can check it out on Instagram and Twitter. I had to do it on Bourbon Street. I'm like, we're walking down Bourbon Street. I got to give my quick breakdown on Bourbon Street. But actually, the first time I've seen the Patriots play the Saints live since like 2008 or something like that. It's been a long time. Actually, might even go back further than that. I missed the 2013 game. I've missed like 4 games due to weddings in my Patriots like life, and 3 of them have been against the Saints. So it makes no sense. So I had to go all the way to New Orleans to see the Patriots play the Saints. But nevertheless, it was the single worst officiated game I've ever seen in my entire life. The single worst officiated game I've ever seen. It was disgusting. Obviously, the call on Diggs was embarrassing. Both OPI calls on Diggs were embarrassing. But then there was one play where the Patriots ran a toss left, and Keyshawn Boutte went to go block his cornerback, and I guess the corner was like holding him or something. They're 35 yards away from the play. It was a 2-yard gain, and they called holding on the cornerback. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you call? Who cares? He's 35 yards away from the play. He's out there stock blocking the corner. What are we even talking about? They just throwing flags for absolutely no reason. It was sickening. And again, it was both sides, but obviously killed the Patriots in many different ways. But some really bad calls and non-calls by that staff. Just incompetence. Just complete and utter incompetence. That Stephon Diggs OPI is the single worst call I've ever seen in my entire life. We could talk about the Fail Mary maybe.
Yeah. Well, like it's the timing of it, because like
100%.
My first thought on that is let me go back and watch the All-22, and there's basically 2 things. One, maybe the flag comes in earlier than they talk about on the broadcast, and like it just didn't get mentioned or whatever. Or 2, maybe something happens later in the play that's like, oh, like 15 seconds after they cut away from Diggs, he does something, and it's like, oh, that's where the flag was. And there's just absolutely none of that. And like they didn't throw the flag, I think, until both teams' special teams units are on the field. And like, there are situations in the NFL that happen where the officials have to gather and figure out what happened and then figure out if there's a flag. And sometimes it takes a little bit because weird things happen and teams are going to try to exploit the rules. In OPI on like the 3rd step of the route is not one of those things. Pat, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear you all of a sudden. I don't know if someone. Oh yeah, I
No,
got you now.
I accidentally muted my mic. That's my fault. I don't know how I even did that, but I did. The fact that they said he was blocking downfield, which is just like, what are we talking about? Like,
Yeah,
he wasn't ever blocking downfield.
that made it
No
like
sense.
that explanation made it. And when he said that explanation, that's what I thought. Like, oh, did he think May was going to run? And did he turn and start blocking someone like before he threw the ball to Pop? But he didn't. He
Right.
tries to get open, and like you could. I'll put it if Diggs had gotten more open, and the ball goes to him, I think you might be able to make a case for offensive pass interference. But there just isn't enough contact for that.
No.
Like it's like he gives a little shove off with two hands at the top of the route, and the corner grabs him with an arm,
Right.
and nothing really happens there. And Man doesn't try to throw there, and that's like the classic. Like they're just hand fighting. Let them have it. Let them do that. I said it on the post game show. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and accuse anyone of like doing things that are improper when it comes to the officiating. But when the league decides to get in bed with gambling, and then you have calls like this that happen, the league has opened themselves up to these accusations. Like you can't just be perfect and never have an official gamble. You also have to avoid the appearance that might be happening.
Exactly. And again, I think what it comes back to for me is the timing. Like, if they had thrown that flag right away, May throws the pass, and as soon as May throws the pass, the guy throws the flag. Now, I would have hated that call. It's a terrible call. He didn't do anything. However, I can at least understand that you're looking there saying, well, he was blocking downfield, and then as soon as he throws the ball, it becomes pass interference. And then I can at least live with that explanation. But to make the call so late, because now he says, oh, I got to talk to you about something. What do you mean you got to talk to him about something? What does that even mean? I have a question for you. I got to talk to you. Like, what are you even talking about? Just throw the flag. If you saw it, throw the flag. Why are you waiting?
There's nothing like the thing that happened that could have been offensive pass interference happens in a split second.
Right. And then 4 seconds later, the Patriots score a touchdown. And then 15 to 20 seconds after that, he finally threw the flag. And it's like, what are we talking about, man? It's crazy.
And like the things where they usually have to like huddle up, it's going to be formation fouls, like things lining up where you have to double check where everyone was lined up. And it's intentional grounding where there's multiple factors, like where are the receivers, where's the quarterback, how far did the ball go? And even like some pass interference penalties, I could see being this because you want multiple angles on it.
Right.
This one, like, it was as cut and dry as it gets. And like whoever the official was that threw the flag had the perfect view of what happened. So there's no, like, you see it, and either it's a penalty or it isn't in that moment. There really isn't anything else to do.
And by the way, we're also talking about the same exact situation happening in the Detroit game, where, and listen, there are different sides to this, but Dan Campbell saying that he was told that New York is the one that initiated that.
I have thoughts on this. I don't know if you're going to agree with me, Pat, but I have thoughts on this.
Go ahead.
First of all, I will say when the play happened in live time, I go, that's a penalty. Because I don't know if you did. I sent the clip to you. I vividly remember the Colts tried to do this in 2004 against the Patriots in the playoffs. Yes. And the rule back then was you can't go under center and then go in motion and not come to a stop. It's no different than a receiver doing it. It's if you are on the line of scrimmage and then move, you have to stop before the play starts. Golf goes under center and then moves. And I was like, all right, that's a penalty. And then I was surprised when they didn't throw a flag initially. And then the broadcasters were like, oh, and the refs actually the refs got together a couple seconds ago to like talk about this play. And it was like, as soon as they said that, I was like, okay, there's a flag
right
out here. But the thing that frustrates me, annoys me more than anything else is like, it's Wednesday. This happened on Sunday. It's Thursday, sorry. That happened on Sunday. The Lions lost this game by 2 scores. And their fans and their coach and their players still have not stopped complaining about it.
Yeah.
Like, move on. Like, this was not the thing that determined the game. And I'm like, especially with the history of that Lions franchise, it's like, this is why you guys lose so much, is that you're getting caught up on something that had nothing to do with the outcome of the game. And I think we can talk about whether or not they got to the call with the correct process, but I think it was undoubtedly the correct call. Like, move on.
What's surprising to me is, like, throw him in the shotgun. Just put him in the shotgun.
Yeah,
then it's not a penalty.
There's a very easy way around this. And then I think the other thing you could do with this, which is what well-coached teams do, if you're going to run a trick play like this, if you want to basically fake like he's going to get under center, make sure he never gets close to the center, but have him go like a full yard back before doing it. So you can kind of do that and go to the officials beforehand and tell them, hey, we looked through the rule book. We're going to do this. We know it's legal. So we want you to be aware of that. If you're going to skirt the rules, that's something that you'll see happen, because you want to make sure you're not going to get, because that's the other thing, is that they could have blown that dead before the play started if the refs caught it like during the action. And imagine if they pulled that off in a way that was legal, but the refs messed it up and blew it dead. You don't want a situation like that.
Lord.
You want to communicate what you're going to do if you're going to be close to that. And I was just like, man, like, you didn't think this through.
Yeah.
And it's a first-year offensive coordinator too.
Yeah.
I guess this is the difference between Ben Johnson and the next guy up.
Well, and listen, that's definitely true. I just think the process of how they got there was shady. And again, if New York is calling them in and saying, hey, that's a penalty, like, I'm sorry. That I know that may be the right call. New York shouldn't be making calls on the field. Like, you can review things. You can't review stuff like that, or you shouldn't be able to, at least.
So what I will say is this. Dan Campbell said that New York got involved. The officials have said that they weren't. So that's also, it's like, we just have two conflicting things here, and I don't think we can make a determination as to if New York got involved from that. I also don't know for sure, but I know at least in other sports, officials are allowed to, like I think I saw this in baseball, where the umpire was allowed to, like, call New York for a rule, or whatever their head is, for a ruling, and basically, like, question the rule, just get a clarification. And I do wonder if that happened here, where they were like, hey, like, I wonder if they have that power, and that might fall in this gray area where it's like they can clearly say New York didn't tell us. We were just or something. And
that's fair.
Which I think that should, I don't know the rules around that. I'll have to look that up. But, like, I think obviously officials should be allowed to go to the league office and ask for clarification on a rule if they aren't sure. Because if the officials aren't sure on a rule but have no way to double check it, then we need to fix that. That's unacceptable.
Well, I agree with you. And the other part of it for me is that I want them to get it right. Ultimately, right, is my goal. So if that helps them get it right, then so be it. As far as my other takeaways from the game, like,
wait, can I keep something on this for just 1 second?
Sure.
Because off of this, I posted the video of that Colts Patriots play from 2004.
Yeah.
And I've had nothing but Lions fans in my replies and mentions ever since getting mad at me. I just posted that play because I thought it was interesting. Now they're mad at me. But one guy was saying, like, oh, look, and even the Patriots did this and got away with it by breaking the rules. Would you like to know how the Patriots broke the rules to get away with this, Pat?
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
Remember when they threw that pass to Tom Brady against the Eagles in 2015, the one where Brady lines up in the shotgun and then motions and then stops and then...
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the guy decides to bring out a stopwatch and time exactly how long Tom Brady was stopped. And it was 56 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds short of the full second that you were supposed to come to a stop. They said, so it wasn't a full second and Brady wasn't stopped, and therefore the play was illegal and should have gotten blown dead. I don't know about you, but I am okay with giving a 4 millisecond grace period on you have to come set for a full second.
Agreed.
I was like, what are we doing here?
It's outrageous.
If they had an actual clock to the millisecond on the field they could look at to measure that, you could make the argument they should be giving the time that way. But I don't think that's the best use of anyone's time.
Did he stop? Yes. Okay, good. We're good. If he stopped and you feel like it's about a second, then we're good.
The point of the stopping is to just make it clear that he has moved to a new position, so the defense can adjust the fact that he's in a new position and has to stop.
And he never went under center.
Yeah, he was in the shotgun too, so I don't even think
that doesn't matter.
But, yeah. But
Anyways,
let's talk about like football.
no, the rest of my takeaways from the game. I mean, my two guys, Drake May and Marcus Jones. Like Marcus Jones continues to be one of the most important players for this Patriots defense. I mean, that play he made on Chris Olave, where he went over both of those picks and then dove in the end zone and got his hand in there. It was an incredible play. That's a clear touchdown. It was an incredible play.
That was great football all around from everyone involved. Everyone except for Chris Olave, who couldn't haul in the pass.
Right. And it would have been a hell of a catch if he had caught it, but he could have caught it still.
There was one spot where he could have caught it, which is great defense from Marcus Jones to force that, and Vrabel puts it in the spot, and he just can't haul it in. Right.
So Marcus, I thought, played exceptional. He's been doing this for all year long. I think that, Mike Reese brought up who the heck was the other slot corner that got signed to an extension this past season.
Oh my goodness!
Not McDuffie. It was someone else. I forget, but it was like 3 for 45 or something like that. And I feel like that's perfect for Marcus Jones. Sign him to an extension. I know people were worried about his size, and rightfully so, but he doesn't play that way. He does not play that way. He has never played that way. And, he was awesome. Even the one where he jumped up and kind of pulled Olave down with him, that one probably could have been a fumble, but it wasn't. But either way.
I gave Charles Woods an up for that, too, for jumping in and helping knock that ball
out. Yeah. So,
in defense.
But, this is like, I think we saw the defense kind of come into its own a little bit. So I was happy about that. And of course, Drake May is just so good. It's outrageous how good he is. He just makes plays, and you have, I'll put it this way. When Mac Jones is throwing passes, right? Mac Jones would throw a duck over the middle, and I would be like, oh God, what's going to happen? Oh no, what's going to happen when he throws over the middle? And Drake May lines up and throws it, and I'm like, oh, something good's going to happen. Every time he throws it. Now, doesn't always happen, right? That's not always the case. But more often than not, when he throws it, he's putting it in the right spot, and he's putting it in a place where his receiver can catch it, and it's going to end up in some sort of explosive play. And so, this is now 4 or 5 weeks going on of Drake May doing this, and he hasn't played the best defenses, but I actually think the Saints are better than people give them credit for. And I just, man, he's so much fun to watch. He's so much fun to watch, and he's our flipping quarterback. I mean, how awesome is that?
Well, and I think that's takeaway number 1, 2, and 3 right there from this game.
Yeah.
We got the guy. Like the rest, there's a lot of other things we got to figure out with this team, but we got the guy, and that means we can play with anyone on a good day.
Correct.
Anyone in the NFL.
Right.
So he was unbelievable on Sunday.
He played fantastic, and I thought too, obviously Keyshawn Boutte had a great game, but this is what, and of course there's smoke about the Patriots trying to acquire another wide receiver, and they certainly could require another wide receiver, whether it's Chris Olave or someone else. I love Olave. I think he's a great player. I'm worried about the injury history. I don't know what's going to take to get him if you get him, but he's awesome. But I mean, I worry about his long-term availability.
Yeah, that's one thing. If we can do the receiver thing right now real quick. Like I like Olave as a player. I think he makes your team better. I also I just have a lot of questions about the fit and what the commitment's going to be and how much you're trading to get him, because he's got a lengthy injury history. And he's really not a physical receiver at all. He doesn't finish through the catch point. He's all finesse, and he's a great speed receiver. He's a great deep threat. Kyle Williams and Diggs could space the field for you incredibly well. But I do think that would reflect changing the identity of the team. This team clearly wants to be a physical team. Drake May clearly likes throwing, obviously he likes throwing to wide open receivers. He also likes throwing to big body guys. And all right, is he gonna trust Olave? He trusted Keyshawn Boutte right away, a guy who makes contested catches. They'll just throw the ball to him, as we saw on Sunday.
Yeah,
guys who are separators, he seems to be a little bit. All right, it takes him a little bit to feel out that relationship. And I'm all right, Olave's not going to catch the ball through contact, and that's not his game. I don't know if he's the guy I want to go give a big investment into.
Right.
Especially if we want to be a physical team and you want to run, it's hard to put Olave and Diggs on the field at the same time and be a running team because neither of those guys are going to block for you. So,
right.
And obviously we want to throw the ball here and win, but you want to be multifaceted. So I'm not opposed to it. I kind of feel like you might only have room for one of Diggs or I think on this roster you only have room for like one high investment receiver who's going to be that type of player, and Diggs kind of has that slot.
Yeah.
And then like Pop is good. Kyle Williams is getting there. Like watching back the tape, I thought this was a really good game for Pop. I thought he could have had. I mean, he should have had 2 touchdowns, and he could have had even more production. Where, on the touchdown, second touchdown to Kayshon Boutte, that was a third down, and Pop is open for the first. It's just that Boutte's also open, so May goes deeper with it. Like he's open all over the tape. He looks quick. He looks snappy. I want to keep seeing what's there. And Kyle Williams had 2 different plays where he wins the route and gets open, and he and May are just not on the same page yet. And I'm like, all right, I think they're getting there. And I think once they get there, that is going to start to turn into something. And Mac Hollins had a very good game. Just he runs his routes and then he comes back to the ball and presents like an easy catching surface, I guess, and just hauls it in. And like, all right, all these guys are playing well right now. Obviously, I'm not opposed to adding a receiver, but like I'd be looking for like obviously the AJ Browns of the world, the guy who's big and who's physical. I think over someone like a Chris Olave.
Well, I think the big thing for me is that of all the things that we have right now, of all like the areas that we could use help, receiver is not high up on the list. Now, listen, they use a number 1 receiver, absolutely.
Easy to say right now, but yeah,
receiver, right. But like, but I like what we have right now. Right, I like the way Kayshon Boutte's playing. I love the way Stephon Diggs is playing. Pop Douglas is, can contribute here and there. Mac Hollins does a fine job, and Kyle Williams is a good kind of developmental player. And I like that mix of 5 guys. And again, there's certainly room for a stud to come in. But does that mean you're sending Boutte out for the deal? Like, I don't love that. Does that mean you're sending, you're not trading Diggs? So does that mean you're sending like Mac Hollins or Pop Douglas away? Like, I don't know who you're getting rid of to get a guy like that in here because, frankly, you're not carrying 6 receivers on your roster. So, and really now 7 because, Efton Chisholm is technically on the roster even though he was activated the first time on Sunday. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's clear that the team still needs to improve, and receivers to spot. I think you always look to improve that, especially when your quarterback's Drake May, and you can max out what these receivers can do for you when you have them. I just want to make sure the guys we're getting, you're looking for multi-year impact, I think, right now. I think the Patriots, the Patriots are good right now, and they have the windows open in this division, and you should go for it. You also shouldn't go all in on this year because Drake May is really good, and if this is who he's going to be and he's going to keep doing this, like your window is open for the next 10 to 15 years. So you don't want to go, like I wouldn't want to go all in on this year at the expense of next year or the year after, because if May's better in the next 2 years and you don't have a little bit of wiggle room to continue to build or make adjustments, you just don't want to hurt yourself there. You want to make yourself better without over-committing, I think, into any one particular direction. Like that's it. Like Olave makes your team better. Fully on board, bring him onto the team. Just not doing it for like a high draft pick. Like he's like a 3rd or a 4th round pick in a trade, in my opinion.
I agree.
And maybe even we're talking a conditional pick where it depends on. I think he has a team option next year or something. It may have been picked up. I'm not entirely sure, but like maybe contingent on if he resigns in New England, if it's a 4th that becomes a 3rd if he resigns instead of
right
type of thing.
Yep, and I could certainly see something like that happen. Number 1 Patriots fan here says that he'd like to see a running back and or a guard center. That makes more sense, I think. I actually think interior offensive lineman makes more sense than running back does. Although running back I think makes sense, but certainly interior, getting more depth in the interior offensive line I think makes a ton of sense.
And I think one of the big, like, the needle you have to thread right now is that at all three of the spots we talked about, interior offensive line, running back, wide receiver, they used draft picks on those guys this year, on guys who are 6 games into their career. I think we're all still very hopeful are going to contribute.
Yep.
So you have to figure out what's the best pathway forward, assuming internally that they still think all three of those guys are going to be contributing, and Henderson and Jared Wilson and Kyle Williams. How do we improve at those spots now without sacrificing player development? And there's no easy answer here. I think the easy answer for the interior of the line is if you think Jared Wilson can play center for you now, you would consider moving him over and trying to add a left guard. I do think the biggest problem on the line, run blocking wise, is that Bradbury and Jared Wilson are a little bit undersized and they can't push guys out of the way at all. And when you have two of those guys on the combo blocks through them are just not working, and neither one of them is really getting pushed as a single blocker. So it's just Owen is still up and down, but he'll move guys out of the way. Those guys don't. So putting Wilson at center where he's a little bit shielded, you can get a bigger left guard who can move guys out of the way, and then they can work off of each other. I think makes sense. It's just, are you comfortable putting Jared Wilson at center right now and benching Garrett Bradbury to bring in a left guard if you can, if there's someone available? And then the flip side, if you aren't, are you comfortable benching Jared Wilson and saying we're going to try again next year?
Right.
Is that the path you want to take forward? I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but you have to weigh where he is in his development, how he's growing, what the best path is for him, how you think he can contribute in the future with what trying to win now.
Well, and then the other issue you run into is that if that doesn't work, then you've benched one of your starting offensive linemen for a guy that just came in.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's Jared Wilson, again, if you're benching Jared Wilson or Garrett Bradbury, which I would imagine if you're benching one of those guys is going to be Jared Wilson, because you're not asking Jared Wilson to switch positions at this point. I don't believe, at least. So,
yeah. I will say, after that Garrett Bradbury snap, maybe you are willing to put Jared Wilson at center.
That's fair. He's been one of the best, pass blocking graded centers in the league.
It's bizarre because that was our worry with Bradbury, and he's been great as a pass blocker and not good in the running game.
Yeah, which is interesting.
And and it's honestly, I think the reason Wilson and Bradbury are similar archetypes kind of here. It just as if you look at them as centers, in that both are guys who should be really good run blockers, not because they can move guys out of the way, but because they're quick. So they can help on a double team and then immediately climb to the second level and block a linebacker and clear a path right up the middle.
Right.
And the problem is if you put two of those guys next to one another, now neither one of them can block the defensive tackle. And I think that's when it comes to your offensive line blocking, I think that's your single biggest personnel issue right now. And I love Jared Wilson. I have high hopes for him. You see the flashes. He's the worst guy in the line right now.
Yeah, which is definitely true. And it's not really that close. So
what do you think about running back? What would you want to do there?
It's hard to know. I honestly don't hate the idea of getting a running back. I just don't know what. I just feel like I want to see more Travion Henderson. Maybe Henderson just isn't ready yet. But I don't know. Unless you're going to just straight up bench Ramondre, I want to see enough of Travion Henderson that it doesn't matter unless I'm getting a third guy to be like a platoon guy. So then I'm giving up, a conditional. I'm giving up a 6th round pick. I'm giving up a 6th round pick to get him and a 7th round pick. That's the only real deal making for a running back.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think both of the running backs are not playing well. I think they both had bad weeks this week. Hopefully they can bounce back. I know I saw a graph earlier that said that of running backs with at least 50 touches this year, no one has been worse than Travion Henderson if you're looking at both ability to get yards after contact and ability to break tackles. He is basically right at the bottom of both lists.
Yeah.
And it's tough because you have two running backs that I think have real strengths to their game and can help you. And you also don't trust either one right now. I don't trust Henderson to make correct decisions running the ball. I don't think he has good vision. His pass protection, this was his best game at it, but it's not all the way there yet. Ramondre Stevenson, I don't trust to hold on to the ball. Like, I think you need another body. Like Breece Hall, that name's gotten thrown around. I love the fit for him in this offense. I think that would be so much fun. The idea of like he's going to cost you. The idea of spending another pick like that on a running back, and then you have to pay him, and then it's like, all right, so we're gonna trade for Breece Hall and pay him, and then we're also gonna have the guy that we just used the top 40 pick on, and like we're gonna invest that much at running back at the same time. Again, I'm not opposed to investing at running back, but I think investing a lot at running back when the line isn't very good at run blocking doesn't make sense to me. I think you got to build that in the line first. So like,
I agree.
I think replacement level power back is where we're both looking for something here.
Yeah. And honestly, Terrell Jennings might fit that bill. Like he might be the guy, and just leave Terrell Jennings and not deal with anything else, unless it's a guy that you like outside the organization that you can go and give up not much to get. Yeah.
Well, I think in some ways this Patriots team reminds me of some past Red Sox teams when they got to the deadline, and that you were in a weird spot where there were like obvious holes on the roster, but those holes are like planned to be filled by young guys that you have in the pipeline. So you almost feel like, all right, are we going to trade for a Band-Aid at this position for this year that might help us squeak into the playoffs? And then that guy's just not going to be here in the future because the young guy is going to be playing? Or like, are we going to double invest at the same position, figure things out? Like you just end up in kind of this weird limbo. And generally speaking, I think where the Patriots are, I lean towards let the young guys play and reevaluate after the season. The only position I don't feel that way at is edge defender. Totally willing to go out and get a pass rusher.
Yes.
But outside of that,
I just don't think any of those guys are going to be available because those guys usually aren't available.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Hendrickson's the name if the Bengals are falling out here. And then I think my only other caveat is like if you can trade for someone who has multiple years left, or who is well, that's why it's like AJ Brown, like culture fit, scheme fit, like think of all the Mac Hollins stuff. Like AJ Brown can do like a lot of that and be like that big physical guy, and it's like, all right, he's just gonna do all of that and also be your number one receiver,
right?
Perfectly.
Yeah.
And he's got the pedigree and he's signed for multiple years. And it's like, okay, like that fits what this team's trying to do right now. Like high cost 1 year rentals for a team like where we are. I'm just not quite there yet.
Right.
If the trade deadline were like after the Atlanta and Tampa games and we went and beat Atlanta and Tampa, I'd be much more interested in saying, all right, let's go get some help for this year's team. But
right. I agree. So, all right, do you want to take a quick break for now, and then we'll kind of dive into this Titans game?
Works for me.
All right. This ad, of course, for Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, which means that you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Drake May's pass yards, rushing yards, and passing touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Also, you can follow other Prize Pick players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup to create in the new feed tab. My lineup for this week. I'm getting away from Quinton Judkins. He ruined me last week, so I'm not doing that anymore. But I am sticking with my guy. I'm sticking with the Patriot, not Drake May, but I'm sticking with the Patriot. I'm going Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winning Travis Hunter, for more than 39.5 receiving yards. I'm going for Bryce Young with more than 0.5 passing TDs against the Jets, and Stephon Diggs for more than 3.5 receptions against the Titans this weekend. What you're going to do, download the app Prize Picks, put in the promo code CLNS. You're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's Prize Picks, CLNS. Prize Picks, promo code CLNS. You're going to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right. So, what do you think about Tennessee? Tennessee obviously just fired their coach. You get the interim bump, although I don't even know who the interim is at this point. Or is it Mike McCoy?
It's Mike McCoy.
Mike McCoy. Ugh. So maybe no interim bump.
Member of the Super Bowl 38 loser Carolina Panthers coaching staff.
That's right. He's been around forever. They like Mikes down there. They like Vrabel, Mike McCoy, Mike Malarkey. Yeah. They got a lot of Mikes down there in Tennessee.
I'm sure because he was
Mike Malarkey. That's a name. Oof.
Yeah. McCoy. He was with the Chargers. He was with the Broncos. Oh yeah,
he's been around.
Yeah. Was he there? He wasn't there with.
He was a former head coach.
Yeah. No. Was he in Denver with Josh McDaniels? I think he was. Yeah. In 2009. He was there with McDaniels, which is crazy. Pat, did you mute yourself again? Pat, you muted yourself again.
Sorry, I muted myself to cough and then tried to unmute and failed. As you can probably hear, I'm a little stuffed up right now. But nevertheless, fighting through it. I usually worry about the interim head coaching bump. I also think, too, that the Vrabel going back home, and whether Vrabel talks about it or not, the players know about it. The players are, want to win this game for him. So I look at it and just think there's no way they lose this game, unless Tennessee has some insane game. I feel like the Patriots are going to come out super focused and try to dominate this team.
I went back. I watched the tape from the last game, the Titans-Raiders game, and, first of all, that was all the Geno Smith that we saw week 1 is not in there anymore. He does it's bad.
What the heck happened? They have a good coach too. What the heck happened?
He's not seeing the field at all. He's not ripping throws. Pocket presence isn't there. It's bad. And then Cam Ward, man, you see a couple of flashes, but he's just not good right now. And this Titans offense, if you go back to the Cam Ward tape of Miami, he's like a point guard type quarterback, and you want him you want to design him some quick stuff, and he'll get the ball out quick and accurate on time. And then if that stuff doesn't work, he's very good at extending plays and delivering off platform to turn scramble situations into longer plays down the field for you. But a lot of his strengths are going to be in the quick and intermediate game. Problem is, you see them. They keep throwing the RPO bubble screen to the receivers.
Makes no sense.
That should be a strength of Cam Ward's game because his ability to read the play. Their receivers cannot block at all. So every time they do that, they're just getting their asses beat and losing yards on it. It's awful to watch. And then because that's not there, they have to throw down the field, especially because they're behind the chains. Their line can't block. I don't know if you saw the play, Pat. There's one. The Titans are on their own 5-yard line, and the Raiders put 6 or 7 guys right in the line of scrimmage. I think 3rd and long, obvious blitz situation. And the rusher in the B gap, no one blocks him. No one touches him. He just runs right up to Cam Ward and rips the football out of his hands. And then a different Raiders rusher lands right on it, and it's a turnover. And it's just how does that happen? How do you let the guy right next to the quarterback go untouched? They're not organized. They can't handle blitzes. Receivers Calvin Ridley's fine, and as a receiver, so no one's making plays for you. The running game has some decent moments. The offensive line is not good. And the quarterback doesn't make good decisions. So,
it's a mess. It's a mess right now down there in Tennessee. And I didn't expect it to be quite as bad as it is. I knew Cam Ward was going to struggle because he's a first-year quarterback, and they don't have a ton of talent on there. I will say, I like Ayo Maynor. Yeah. I like him a lot. I think he has potential to be a good receiver. He's getting 5 or 6 targets a game. He's probably going to finish I mean, if things end up the way they've been going, he's probably going to finish the year with 100 targets. They just can't complete enough of them, and so, I think that they have some pieces there. It's not a finished puzzle. And I think, unfortunately, we have a situation where, we get the interim bump. Last year, Chicago fired their coach and lost like 38-7 the week after they fired their coach. So I think we could be in for something like this where like the team just blows and they're young, and it's like a lot of times you get the interim bump because you feel like everyone's kind of like, all right, we all got to be on our toes and we all got to be at our best. But like they're a young team. They're fighting for their job too, but they're not like veterans that are like fighting for their jobs. They're young guys, and so they've been out there fighting for the job anyways, so nothing's really changed that much for them, I don't think. And I don't think Mike McCoy is going to be the guy to rally the troops. He could be, but I don't think he is. And so I just don't see how they can. I don't want to say compete with the Patriots because that's not fair, because the Patriots still are a good team, but I don't know if they're very good yet. I think the Patriots should take care of business.
But Tennessee just has no playmakers. There's nothing like you have Jeffrey Simmons on defense. They do have L'Jarius Sneed at corner, who's fine. Like he had a very good season with the Chiefs just like 2 years ago and got paid. And I just think with how bare the rest of that defense is, like it doesn't do a lot for you to have one decent corner. And they seem to play a lot of zone from what I could tell. And like L'Jarius Sneed's a man corner, like a press man corner. So it doesn't necessarily seem to fit what he does. It also doesn't really seem to matter because like it's not the other guys in the field aren't good.
Right.
I think the path for an upset here if you're Tennessee, getting some kind of a bump in the trenches, offense and defense, with just a little bit more effort and a little bit more coordination of some kind, being able to run the football. But like if the Titans pull off an upset, it's going to be because Cam Ward has one of those games where things start to click for him. Hasn't had a lot of that so far this year. This is a Tennessee team that has one win on the season by 1 point in a highly improbable comeback against a not very good Arizona team that did everything they possibly could to give that game away. They're 31st in points scored by a single point. They're 32nd in yards. They're last in offensive expected points added. Like it would have to be one hell of a bump from Ward. And that's like, then maybe they have a chance. Like you need a Cam Ward breakout game and a Drake May dud at the same time.
And both of which I think are unlikely at this point, Maybe not, but I think
it's football. Things happen, and it might be unlikely, but you do only need it to happen once. Like, I trust Vrabel to have him motivated.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think too. Oh God, the thought just flew out of my head. You were talking about I don't know. What the heck was I about to say? It was going to be something good too. I was like, oh yeah, like I think that's good. Oh, the other thing I think too is that you can just, if the Patriots go back to beating themselves, right? Like they did against the Steelers. The Steelers tried to give the Patriots the game, and the Patriots were like, no, you take it. It's okay. They turned them over 5 times, right? If you can get a game like that where you can knock the ball out of Ramondre Stevenson's hands, you can force Drake May into throwing an interception or strip sack him, and I think those are the areas where you can change the game and really kind of make it, a tough matchup for the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree, and it's Titans need to win this turnover differential by multiple.
Yeah, I agree.
Are they capable of that? They're 27th on offense in turnovers, and they're 6th on defense for forcing them. That's also though. They have forced 9 turnovers this season, and 7 of them came in 2 games. 4 of them came at Denver in the opener. 3 of them came at Arizona 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And one of those in Arizona is that guy dropping the ball at the goal line, running back as he's running into the end zone for like an 80-yard touchdown on you. So I don't know how much credit the defense gets for forcing a turnover on that one.
That's a good point.
And I don't remember much from this Denver game, but just knowing what Denver is and what Tennessee is, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that 4 turnover performance is an outlier that we're not really gonna see repeated a whole lot.
You would think, but you never know. But it's just I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not worried, but I'm kind of not worried. I just feel like, especially since Vrabel's going back there, and again, Vrabel could say it doesn't matter, and I'm sure he's going to say it doesn't matter, but it matters to the guys in the locker room. Like, you better believe it matters to the guys in the locker room, right? That's their guy. This team fired him. They want to go down and beat the brakes off this team because they fired their coach. And it's really that simple as far as I'm concerned. So, we'll see how it goes. And I wonder, part of me wonders if that's a bad thing, right? If that means that they're going to be too amped up and they might turn them all over once or twice because they're trying to do too much. But I think the Patriots are going to be ready to go, and they're not going to fall into any trap about, like maybe they overlooked them or something like that. I can't imagine that's going to happen.
If you play like you did last week in this game, you're going to win this by 2 or 3 scores.
Yep.
But I will say last week, I don't think the Patriots defense played exceptionally well or anything, but schematically reminded me a lot of the game against Jacksonville in London last year, except we could actually tackle this time.
Yeah.
In that, like, the issues were like, all right, when the Saints stretched things horizontally, we're able to run the ball towards the sideline. That's when they had a little bit of success. And a lot of it was just like the Patriots played bend and don't break in soft coverage because it was like the Saints have a couple deep threats, so we're just going to back off, and we're going to make Rattler beat us by consistently hitting throws underneath. And to Rattler's credit, he played really well with those.
Yeah.
The Titans don't have that same speed or deep threat ability at receiver, so I don't think there's any reason to sit back in a soft zone and give Cam Ward that opportunity to do that. Like, if I'm game planning here, it's going to be cover 1, it's going to be cover 0. Titans don't know how to handle a blitz, so I'm trying to blitz them as much as I can and just take down the quarterback, which I don't think anyone's been sacked more than Cam Ward this year, which is both an offensive line stat and a Cam Ward.
And a Cam Ward stat. I also think, too, the other part of that for me is that the Patriots, what's it called? Not the Patriots. The oh, for God's sakes, dude, where you were talking about they don't have like a ton of weapons.
Yeah.
They really don't. And so that for me at least is like, be more aggressive, play more zone, play more man coverage. You can do that against that team. And it's not a big deal. And especially with, this is what I was going to say. Jeez. Especially with Calvin Ridley banged up, that makes it even worse for them. Now Calvin Ridley might still play, but he's not 100%. And so that's going to challenge them even a little bit more.
Yeah. I will say Patriots a little banged up. Harold Landry hasn't practiced this week. This would be a revenge game, or revenge is too harsh there. But his return game to Tennessee, he hasn't practiced, so we'll see. Charles Woods was, I think, limited yesterday, didn't practice today. So that's something to watch, only in that they've been banged up in the backfield. Like, Jalen Hawkins is back at practice. We'll see if he plays. Keon White's back at practice. He should be a go. Anthony Jennings is back at practice. I think he'll probably play. But just like, you don't want, like, if Jalen Hawkins isn't ready to go this week, and Harold Landry's out, and Charles Woods is out, and like, I don't know, Marcus Jones has gotten banged up. Like, I think Marcus Jones and Carlton Davis had to come out this past week.
Yeah.
At some point during the game. Christian Gonzalez, he's back to full participation again, which is nice, but he's been banged up. And like, you don't want a situation where one of those guys goes down, and now it's Alex Austin and like Kyle Duggar, and those guys get exposed. Again, maybe that's one of your worry points here, especially if you can't get a pass rush with no Harold Landry. But I don't know, their guards aren't good. It's Peter Skoronski and Kevin Zeitler, and J.C. Latham at right tackle has been awful.
That's ultimately what it comes down to, is that as long as the Patriots play their game, they should win. That's what really all it is. They just got to play their game, and they'll win. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't do anything special. Don't do anything flashy. Just play your game.
Put it like very rarely do you see teams go on like 4-game winning streaks are not very common. 3-game road winning streaks when all 3 games are on the road, like in a row like this, are not very common.
I believe the Patriots have never done it. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I'm pretty sure the Patriots have never won 3 consecutive games
All on the road.
all on the road. I'm fairly certain that I heard that. And that might be true. It might not be true. They probably
Doesn't
only
happen that
did it
often.
a few times. So it's not like, they did it 10 times with Brady or something like that, and they couldn't win all 3 of them or something like that. You know what I mean?
But like all that, like the teams don't usually win in this spot, and yet the Patriots are 7-point favorites on the road. That tells you a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'd be what, like almost like 10-point favorites at home.
If it was at home, yeah.
Yeah. And this Titans team reminds me of where the Patriots were last year, except it's much worse at quarterback. Like,
yeah,
this is if when Drake May played, he was kind of playing like Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, well, it's not ideal. So,
So you gotta, you just have to win this game. Like, there's no, and they'll be ready. I'm not. I mean, maybe Mike McCoy comes out with some kind of crazy scheme that fools him, but like, see,
tell me you just saw that.
I just have the game cast up. What happened?
Joe Flacco.
Oh, I see Joe Flacco left end.
Just ran
12 yards.
Just ran an RPO keeper.
That's a
for a 12-yard gain at the 10-yard line. At his own 10-yard line. That's outrageous. Unbelievable.
I love it. That's what this whole thing's all about, isn't it?
So, anyways, you got anything else about this game?
Jeffrey Simmons,
not much else about the game.
Jeffrey Simmons is their best player, defensive tackle. He can wreck things. He's probably going to get a sack. Like, he'll probably get to me at some point. That's fine.
You would think they're going to have to run outside a little more than they normally do.
Yeah. This Titans defense, run defense still isn't that good, even with Simmons in there. That's about it. I mean, this Titans team, like, it's hard to find any strengths at all for them. Like, they have forced a lot of turnovers this year, and I think a lot of that's just fumble luck and the quarterbacks that they have.
Still, though, turnovers are turnovers, right? And so you got to be worried about that they can be an opportunistic group, right? So,
but they're bottom 6 in points, offense and defense, bottom 10 in yards, offense and defense.
Yep.
And it's like the per drive statistics. They're
bad.
Offensively, 32nd in points per drive, 32nd in yards per drive, 31st in average time of possession too. Like, they're off the field fast.
Yeah, it's bad.
The defense is a little bit better, but like they're like middle of the pack in yards per drive. But like, I don't know if like they're also 32nd in field position. So I don't think that yards tells you anything other than that offenses are getting the ball in an easy spot. I do one other note actually. I think it's Bones Fossil is their special teams coordinator, who's very highly regarded. People really like him. I did notice the Raiders had 2 different big punt returns against them last week on tape by getting guys like reversing field and getting to the outside. So be on Marcus Jones alert this week, I think.
Should always be on Marcus Jones alert.
I mean, you should, yeah. That should always. We're going from. I think we're upgrading from a Marcus Jones watch to a Marcus Jones warning.
Warning. I like that. Yep, I like that. So that's good.
Yeah, I think that's about it for this one. I'll have one more non-series question for you if we're done with this game.
Oh, that's it.
What'd you think of the all-white uniforms?
I actually didn't hate them. I thought I was going to hate them, and I really didn't. They wore the white and gray last year, which is very similar. The all white was fine. I thought it was like it's a little strange with the silver helmet. But I actually didn't mind them. 2 straight color rush games, by the way. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought I was gonna hate them. I hated them when the game started. Honestly, they posted a clip later that was like whatever their behind the scenes content was when everything was like in 4K and it was like showing them close up. I was like, okay, I like it. I just wish they wore like a different color sock or stripes or something. It does kind of look like they're wearing like pajamas or something out there, but it's like all the same color. I do prefer the silver, but like
And if it worked for them, that's fine, I suppose, right?
If they win, they can wear whatever they want.
That's correct. They were. It looks like they were in the white over the blue this weekend.
Did they confirm that? I didn't see a post of them.
The Titans posted it, or I think the Titans or the Patriots. Someone posted it. I forget who it was. Posted just like the picture, and I don't know exactly. Yeah, I don't know if it was accurate. It looked like the Patriots were in.
The Patriots posted their game plan one, which had May wearing the blue pants, but I don't know if that's accurate or if that's just. I don't think there's been an announcement yet. They wore the blue pants last year, and even though they lost that, I do think the Titans they've leaned into the light blue, and they wear the light blue jerseys and socks and white, the very light looking uniform.
It is, yeah.
The blue pants for contrast would work this week.
I agree.
That's what I would pick if it's if we're just going for maximum contrast.
Yep. Yeah.
So. Yeah. Do you see what the Chargers are wearing this week?
Oh, I hate it. Why? They have the best jerseys in the league. Why are you doing that?
Can I come out with a very controversial Chargers uniform take?
Sure.
I think I'm a little bit over the powder blue for them.
Why?
I think the powder blue for them is better as an alternate. I think I'd the LaDainian Tomlinson 2001 era uniforms with the navy blue and the yellow.
Yeah, okay.
I think I would want that for day games and then break out the powder blue for night games. That I think is what I would do.
I can see mixing it up. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't hate the powder blue. I think it looks good. I think they have great uniforms. This year I think they're doing too much. All right, now we're gonna add a yellow jersey and we're gonna add blue pants. And it's I don't know, man. I think you guys had it already. I didn't think you needed to mess with it anymore.
That's what they do. That's what all these guys do. So
I do feel like the NFL increasingly looks like college games where it's just every week someone's wearing something new and everyone's trying to be Oregon and
Yep.
I do miss a little bit of all right, every team has one uniform and every time you tune in you're gonna know what it is because sometimes you tune into a game now and it's you have to actually look to see who, especially in red zone and you're looking quickly, it's which team was that, or you see a clip on Twitter it's oh yeah, that team wearing a dark helmet and an all white uniform. Well, that could be one of 16 teams.
Right. So yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the heck out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate it. Steelers are about to take the lead right now with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. Let's see what Joey Flacco's got in him. So, but thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back Sunday night breaking down the Patriots game against the Tennessee Titans. Be good to each other and go Pats.